Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm here today because I have another tutorial. So what I have for you today are these little mini T-Rexes. And you cannot tell me they are not the cutest things ever. And let's just get straight into the tutorial. To get started off with materials, I'm using Bernat blanket yarn as always. I'm using a size 6 hook because this is the size that matches with my yarn. You're gonna need scissors. I always use a stitch marker and some sort of needle to sew your pieces shut, and safety eyes or whatever you prefer to use. We're gonna start with the body piece, which goes from up here all the way to down here, and we finish it in completion before we sew anything on, so you can start with this and you'll still be fine to sew everything on after. So for round 1, we are gonna start by doing 6 single crochet into a magic circle. So we've got 1, 6, and then we can just go ahead and close that circle up. For round 2, we're going to do a total of 6 increases all the way around to bring us up to a total of 12 stitches for the round. So 2 single crochets in each stitch around. For round 3, we're going to be doing a single crochet into the first, and then an increase into the next, and we're going to repeat that pattern all the way around. So we did our 1 single crochet, so in the next stitch we are going to do an increase, so 2 into the same stitch, (18). Next we are on to round 4, and we're going to continue with the same pattern almost. We're going to be doing 2 single crochets and then an increase. So into that first stitch we did 1, into the second stitch we are again going to do 1, and then in the next stitch we're going to do an increase to bring us up to 4, and we're going to repeat that all the way around for a total of 24 stitches for the round. And 24. Now for these next rounds, rounds 5, 6, and 7, we are just going to do 24 single crochet around. So you're just going to do 24 single crochet around 3 times. And 24. So now that was 1 round, so I'm just going to do it 2 more times. Once you've done your 3 more rounds, you should have a roughly dome shape that looks somewhat like this. Now we are going to move on to round 8, which we are going to start by just doing 6 single crochets. Six, and now that we're done that, we're going to do 6 decreases. So through both of the front loops, pull through, and 6 decreases. And then to finish the round, we're just going to do 6 single crochet back to the start. And 6. And that should have brought you to a total of 18 stitches for the round. Now we're going to move on to round 9, which we are going to start with 5 single crochet. 5, and then we are going to do 4 decreases this time. So through both the front loops. And now that you've done 4 decreases, we're going to go back to the start, which should just take 5 single crochet again. 5, and that will bring you down to a total of 14 stitches. Now for rounds 10 and 11, we're just going to be doing 14 single crochet around, so that's 2 rounds of 14 single crochet. Now that you're done your 2 rounds of 14 single crochet, you should have a shape that looks roughly like this. Now going into round 12, we're going to start to make the belly shape, so we're going to start with just 3 single crochets. So 1, 2, and 3, and then we're going to do a single crochet and then an increase 4 times. So that would be a single crochet and an increase, so 2 in the same stitch. That's 1 time, so we're going to do it 3 more times. And to get back to the start, you're just going to do 3 single crochets again. 1, 2, and 3. Now we're on to round 13, which is going to be a similar idea, but we're going to start with 5 single crochets. 2, 3, 4, and 5, and we're going to repeat exactly what we did last time. We're going to do a single crochet followed by an increase 4 times. So 1 single crochet, 1 increase, that makes 1 time, and we're going to do it 3 more times. And finally, we're going to do 5 single crochet again to get back to the start. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So that brings you up to a total of 22 stitches for round 13. Now for round 14, we're just going to do 22 single crochet around. So a single crochet in every stitch. Now on to round 15, which is going to start with 5 single crochets and 5. And then we're going to do the single crochet and increase same as before, but we're going to do it 6 times. So a single crochet and an increase, and we're going to do that 5 more times. Then to finish off the round, we're just going to do 5 single crochet back to the start. And 5 to bring us up to a total of 28 stitches. Now this is when I like to put on the safety eyes because you can tell where the stomach is starting to grow out, so you know how to evenly put it on the sides, and I usually put them in between round 5 and 6. Then I like to look from the front to make sure they're level this way, and look from the top to make sure they're level this way, and then just look at each side, make sure you're happy with it, and then put the back ends on. Now we're on to round 16, which is going to start with 8 single crochet. And then we're going to do exact same as last time. We're going to do a single crochet followed by an increase 6 times. So a single crochet and then an increase, so 2 in the same stitch, 1 and 2, and we're going to do that 5 more times now. Now to get back to the start, we're just going to do 8 single crochet again, and this will bring us up to a total of 34 stitches for the round. 8 for a total of 34. Now for the next 3 rounds, round 17, 18, and 19, we're just going to simply be doing 34 single crochet around. So that's 3 rounds of 34 single crochets. Now that we're done those 3 rounds, it should look roughly like this shape, and we're going to want to start to stuff the upper body here, making special attention to fill the head all the way up. As you can see, I now have most of the head and neck filled, and we are good to continue. Now for round 20, we're going to be starting to decrease, so we're going to start by doing 5 single crochets and then a decrease, and we're going to be doing that 4 times in total. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, followed by a decrease, and then we're going to repeat that 3 more times, and it won't get you quite to the end. A decrease, so that was 4 times total, and now to get to the end of the row, we're just going to simply do 6 single crochets, and this will bring us down to an even total of 30 single crochets. And 6 for a total of 30. For the next round, round 21, we are just going to do 30 single crochet around, so a normal 1 in every stitch all the way around. And 30 for the end of round 21. Now on to round 22, we are going to be doing 3 single crochet followed by a decrease all the way around to bring us down to a total of 24 single crochet. And 24. For the next round, round 23, we're going to continue decreasing, so we're going to do 2 single crochet followed by a decrease. So we got 1, 2, and then a decrease, and we're going to repeat that all the way around for a total of 18 single crochets. And 18 total for the end of round 23. Now this is where I like to finish most of my stuffing of the body. I won't go all the way full to the top because we still have a couple more rounds to go, but I would fill it up most of the way while you can still reach and get it in. Now moving on to round 24, we're going to simply be doing 1 single crochet followed by a decrease all the way around to bring us down to a total of 12 single crochet. round 12 for the end of round 24. Now this is where you're going to want to finish any stuffing that you have to do. Then for the final round of the body, round 25, we're just going to do 6 decreases. So a decreases all the way around to bring us down to a total of 6. And 6. And now we can cut off, leaving a medium-sized tail, I suppose, just so that we can sew the hole on the bottom of the body shut. And to sew it shut, I just like to go through the front loops all the way around. So the loop on top, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then if you pull on your yarn, it should just close up that hole like so. And then you can just go up and down a few times to make sure it's nice and secure. Now we are done with the body, so we can just set that aside, and we're gonna get started on the tail now. To start the tail, we're gonna do 4 single crochet into a magic ring. So that was 1, 2, 3, and 4, and you can go ahead and close that up. Now for round 2, we're going to do a single crochet and then an increase, and we're going to do this twice to bring us up to a total of 6 single crochets for the round. So that was a single crochet, and then this will be an increase. For round 3, we're just going to do 6 single crochet around. I already did my first one, so this is 2, 6. Then for round 4, we're going to do the same. We're going to do a single crochet followed by an increase, but since we have more stitches, we're going to do it 3 times instead, and we're going to bring us up to a total of 9. So that was my single crochet followed by an increase, and then after that we'll do it 2 more times. Round 5, we're going to be doing 2 single crochets followed by an increase to bring us up to a total of 12 for the round. Round 6, we're just going to do 12 single crochet around. Perfect, so that was 12 single crochet. Now for round 7, we're going to do 3 single crochet followed by an increase to bring us up to a total of 15. And 15. And our final round is going to be round 8, and we're going to be doing 4 single crochet and then an increase to bring us up to a total of 18. 18. And now that we're done, we're going to want to cut it off, but we're going to want to leave a long tail because we are going to have to sew this on to the back of our dinosaur. First, I like to line it up with the center of the back, and I like to put the center where we finished as our bottom point. Then once you have it roughly centered, you're also going to want it towards the bottom. So if you look at like these ones that I did, it's kind of just in line with the bottom of the dinosaur. So I'm happy with placing mine here. So I'm going to insert my hook into where I want it to go and the next stitch over, and then we're going to pull it nice and tight. So then I like to go up into the next stitch of the tail with my needle and go back into the stitch we just came out of, and then go up into the next one. And since this is round, I usually like to go on a diagonal up to the next one so that we can keep the shape of the tail consistent throughout. I'll show you one more time. Just go up into the next stitch on the tail, back into the same one we came out of, and out of the next one on the body. I'm going to go diagonal one more time, and then I'll go straight up the sides, and I'll repeat this process all the way around until the tail is almost completely attached. Okay, I'm almost done going all the way around, but now that there's a little gap left, I'm going to stuff it now. And now that I'm finished stuffing, I'm just going to finish sewing all the way around back to the start. Now that that is done and sewed on, we can go ahead and get started on the arms. For the arms, we're just starting with 6 single crochet in a magic circle. So there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then you can go ahead and pull that shut. Now for the next 3 rounds, round 2, 3, and 4, we're just going to be doing 6 single crochet around. Now that you're done, it should look something like this. Of course, you can make these longer if you'd like, but since this is loosely based off of a T-Rex, I like to keep them pretty short and stubby. So to finish off, we're just gonna do 3 single crochets across the top to make it nice and flat. We're gonna start by laying it completely flat, squish it down. We're gonna go into our next stitch in the round and into the corresponding stitch in the back. So you're going through both sides of your work, pulling it through and doing a single crochet. We're gonna do the same in the next one. They should basically just line up with each other like so. And then finally one in the last one. There we go. And that is 3 across the top, and you can go ahead and cut that off, leaving a fairly long tail because we are gonna be sewing it onto the body. And then you can go ahead and do the exact same thing and make 1 more of these. I just finished the second arm off camera, and now that both of them are done, we can go ahead and sew them on. In terms of placement, I like to put them right about here on the side, kind of roughly near the eye and just before the stomach starts to jut out. To sew these on, I follow loosely the same process. I go first into the stitch where I want it to start, and then I go down into the next one. You might have to bend them a bit just because the sides are completely flat. My phone ran out of storage, but basically then you can just go up into the next stitch. There's only 3 to go into, so they are relatively easy to find. And just go up through it, and then I go into the next one on the body, and then down into the body of the dinosaur. And then I just kind of repeat that process over and over again, going in and out randomly, just so that I'm confident that it's on there solid and I know it's not going to slide off or anything. And then I have one trick that I do right at the end that I will show you once I get this thing completely sewn on here. Okay, the final thing I do with these dinosaurs to make sure their hands kind of stay in this placement forward, I just go back anywhere in the body and I come out with my needle roughly about here, like where, if the arm lays flat, about halfway through. And then I can just pull out my needle with my thread, and then just roughly halfway on the arm here, I just put my needle through so that I catch a stitch. And then if you just pull that nice and tight, it will kind of just pin it down to the body, and then you can just go back through one more time. And then for the arms, since we can knot the 2 ends together, I just pull out the end of my thread somewhere near the middle. And as you can see, it's now nice and flush with the body. Did the other arm off camera because it's very hard to sew while looking through a phone camera, but what I'm just going to do at the end here is pull my final yarn tail through in the exact same stitch as the tail from the other arm. So now I can simply take these 2 ends and just knot them together and pull them inside the body so that I know that these arms will stay secure and they won't come apart. Now our dino looks roughly like this. It would honestly be cute without even the legs added on, and you can honestly stop here if you wanted, but we're so close, so we might as well do the little legs, which are just these little round knobs here, which I think just make them so cute. So to start the legs, we're going to start with a magic ring. Nobody is surprised about that, but this time we are going to start by putting 8 single crochets into the magic ring. So we have 1 and 8, and you can go ahead and pull that shut. For the second round, round 2, we're going to do increases all the way around. So that's going to be a total of 8 increases to bring us up to a total of 16 stitches for the round. And 16. Now for the next 2 rounds, we are simply just going to do 16 single crochet around, and that is it. That is the entire leg. And 16, that was round 3. Now we're gonna go on to round 4 and just do it one more time. And 16, and we are done with the first of the legs, and now you're just gonna wanna make 1 more using the exact same process. Also, you're gonna wanna leave a fairly long tail because we will be sewing this entire thing on to the body. I finished the second one off camera, but now I have 2 little legs, and to sew these on, I follow the exact same process that I do for the tail. In terms of placement, it is completely up to you, but I like mine almost flush with where the ground will be, and then I just try and center them evenly on both sides. Also, in terms of keeping the legs even on both sides, when I get to the top of the leg, I like to make sure that I keep them going across always the same row. So like I selected this row here, so that way I know when I'm over here where to stop. And I do the same thing for the bottom. So the sides you can stretch out wherever you'd like, but the top and bottom, try to keep them contained to one row so you can match them up evenly so that your sides are nice and symmetrical. Now that I'm almost at the end again, it's time to stuff it and then just finish sewing all the way around. And one more time at the end, I like to pull out my final tail somewhere near the middle so that I can tie my two ends from each of the feet together. I repeated the exact same process on the other side, and now I'm just gonna tie these two ends together and push them back inside, and we are done. And now you are done and have your very own little mini T-Rex plushie. If you made it this far, thank you for watching all the way to the end. Feel free to check out my other videos. Hopefully this worked for you guys and you now have your very own product, and I hope you love it, and I will catch you in the next one.